welcome back for my new viewers. Hey, welcome. My name is Elle. I cannot believe that it's already March 3rd of 2020. This is ridiculous. For those of you in the world who are still saying, I can't wait until the weekend, I can't wait until Friday, I can't wait until this day, I can't wait until that happens, I'm asking you to please stop doing that, because your words are powerful. They're actually wishes and commands to the universe for things that you want to happen within your life. But you're not realizing is that these things are also happening in other people's lives too. So please stop wishing time away, because I'm experiencing so much lost time, it doesn't make sense. Let's just try to stay in the here and now for one moment, please, so that we can catch our bearings, because 2020 is a year of crazy change, and we need to be able to just stop for a moment and contain ourselves, get ourselves back on track, balance ourselves so that we could move forward. And with that thought, that brings me to the reason that I am connecting with you, because last week I challenged you to stop for a second when you're faced with any challenge or any trial or tribulation or anything that puts you in an energy of feeling less than beautiful and happy, to ask yourself, what if my higher self or God or whoever it is that you believe in orchestrated this experience so that you can grow and learn and live the life of your dreams? How did the challenge go for you all last week? For me, it was very moving. It was very, very moving. I actually experienced challenges every day of the week, including today. And I did have the time to stop and think, what if my higher self really loved me enough, or what if God or the divine really loved me enough to create this experience for me so that I can learn how to move through this challenging experience and grow, and maybe even share the tools that I've acquired by working through the experience with other people. And for me, fam, it was really, really great, because when I was able to stop and present myself with that question, I'm sorry, the camera's moving. My dog is like sleeping right underneath me, which is something that's kind of beautiful because she's usually acting up. So anyway, so whenever I always had the opportunity to stop and ask myself that question when I was faced with a challenge. And when I did, what happened is the energy of the experience shifted from being something that might have caused me anxiety to me opening up to the possibility of infinite good and positive opportunities for me. So that shift in my energy and that shift in my perspective was the thing that allowed me to move through the challenge in a more positive way, not worrying, not thinking twice, not beating myself up, not replaying the experience over and over, not thinking to myself, oh my goodness, you should have done that. All of that stuff never happened when I thought to myself, well, hey, what if my higher self really did orchestrate this because it loves me so much and it wants me to grow? And I found this challenge very, very moving for me, because not only did it help me to shift the energy with regards to the experience, but it also helped me to open up my perception of what the experience, what the underlying lesson in the experience is. And a lot of times as human beings, we always want to understand why, or we want to know why. Why did this happen? Why did that happen? Why is the other happening? And when you're able to open your perspective and see things from a higher level, then you're able to get the answers to why this is happening, because your view is not so narrow-minded and you're not seeing it from the 3D point of view. You're more seeing it from a higher, more divine point of view, so you get to see a lot of other different pieces and a lot of other experiences that fall in line with this puzzle that is your life. So I hope that you all, took me up on my challenge, and I hope that when you did ask yourself the question, it did move you in such a way to be more positive and be motivated to actually move through the challenge with compassion for yourself, compassion for the situation, compassion for the other people that are involved, and positivity. So since we are on this challenge kick, I want to present you with another challenge for a week. And I did this challenge yesterday, actually. I said this to myself yesterday, and this was phenomenal. I said to myself, before I interacted with any living, breathing being, before I got out of bed, I said to myself, I said to my higher self, and I said to the divine and my ego, I said, higher self and divine, I ask you to partner with me. I ask you to team up with me. I ask you to take the steering wheel of my life this day. I ask that every thought, every action, every breath I take is filled with your loving energy. Then I said to my ego, you play such an important role in my life you couldn't even imagine. But I'm asking you today to switch roles. And I'm asking you to switch roles for a very important reason. Because this role is so important, and I know that you are the only person that could handle this job and do it beyond what any person could possibly do. Today, I need you to record and observe my higher self and the divine as they step into the driver's seat of my life and navigate my day. Now, the reason that this job is so important is because the records that you keep for today will be read for years to come. Now, I'm talking about something that is going down in history, ego. And I need you to step into this position and do this job for me today, because nobody else can do it but you. So at the end of the day, ego, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to ask you to meet up with me so that you could just give me a report on all of your findings for the day. And that's really important, because that's why it's going to go down in history, because it's going to be recorded for everyone to see from today until eternity. So whatever you record and report is going to last forever. Forever. And then you know what happened, fam? I said, thank you. Thank you, ego. Thank you, higher self. Thank you, divine. I did my regular morning ritual that I do, got ready for work, and fam, my day was amazing. I got to work and there were so many emails that I had to answer, and typically it'll take me like forever to get through all of my emails for the morning. I feel like I am so overwhelmed. I went through my emails and got everything done I answered all of my emails, set up meetings, travel, all kinds of things you couldn't imagine, all before 12 o'clock with ease and grace. And I was happy doing it. It was amazing. Amazing. So, fam, this week's challenge is every morning when you wake up, before you interact with any breathing being, interact with your higher self and the divine, God, whoever you believe in. Ask them to partner with you, to team up with you, and or to take the steering wheel of your life, and ask them to infuse their energy, their grace, their mercy, their compassion into every breath you take, every action you make, and every thought you think, every word you speak. Thank them, and then move on to your ego. And it's very important to speak to your ego. It's very important to speak to your ego and ask your ego to do a different job. Ask them to do this job of recording and reporting. Tell them that it is very important, because you have to talk to your ego in such a way to motivate your ego to switch positions within your life. So you have to form a relationship with your ego. And part of the relationship is asking your ego to play a different role, and explaining to your ego why you're having them to play the role, and letting them know that they're still important. Because when we work with our ego, it's important for your ego not to be scared, because your ego will try to hold on to the control that it has over your life. So you want to explain to your ego that this new role that you're asking it to take temporarily is also as important, if not even more important, than the role that it already takes. So you're switching the roles now. Normally your ego is the thing that drives you to behave the way you behave, or think the way you think, or act the way that you act, move the way that you move. And your higher self and or the divine is in the background, just waiting for you to be like, ego, step aside. I'm ready for something different. The divine and your higher self will not step in unless you ask it to. Your ego will not switch roles unless you communicate with it and ask it to, and reassure it that it is still important. You're not getting rid of it. You're just asking it to switch roles into something that's more important. Why is it important? Because it's going to be recorded. And it is going to be recorded, because you're probably going to remember that day for the rest of your life, because it's going to be such a wonderful day. It's going to be amazing. So you explain to your ego that the role that it's taking is still important. It's going to record and report everything that your higher self and the divine does, as the divine and your higher self take the steering wheel of your life and maneuver through your day. At the end of the day, you say thank you to your ego as well. If you find that during the day the roles are switching and your ego is more present than your higher self and the divine, all you have to do is speak to all of them again. Remind them how important, especially your ego, remind your ego how important this role is, and ask it to step back into the role of reporter, recorder. Once again, tell your ego that you want to have a meeting with them tonight, because you really want to, take notes and see what the difference is. And I'm telling you, family, when you do this, you're never going to stop doing this, because your day is going to flow. You're going to see that you're just moving with the energy. It's so amazing, and you're going to feel happy and blissful, like a euphoric type of energy. If you're working, you may find that you communicate with your coworkers in a more amicable, cooperative way. You're able to express yourself in a way in which other people are able to understand. You may be able to even finish a project that you have been working on forever. so many things are possible when you ask the divine and your higher self to take the steering wheel of your life and navigate your day for you. So many beautiful things are possible. So I challenge you for 7 days, I challenge you every morning before you talk to anybody or anything that's breathing. You talk to your ego, talk to your higher self and the divine, and see what happens, fam. Let us check in 7 days. I'm going to only do 7 days this time. I'm not going to do 8 days. I'm going to do 7 days, and I'm really excited about you all doing this challenge with me because I know that this is going to really help you to connect with your higher self and the divine energies in such a way that you actually feel it and you can see a difference within a couple of hours, whatever it is that you're doing during the day and or night, if you decide to do this at night as well. And you can do it at night. You can do it before you go to sleep, and you can ask your higher self to guide your dreams. That would be, hey fam, you gave me an idea for next week's challenge. Thank you so much. Okay fam, so let's do this. This week's challenge, partnering with the divine and your higher self while your ego is the reporter. Let's check back in 7 days. I know that this is going to be so wonderful and beautiful for you, fam. I hope that you enjoyed. If you like this video or any of my other videos, please like and or subscribe. If you want to share this information with your loved one and do the challenge with some other people, be my guest friend, fam. The more, the merrier. That means that we get to compare notes and we get to learn and share. And that's what this life is all about. It's about connection. So let's stay connected. I'll check you next week. I love you.